How long I've been coming to IOC? A good question. And as I was thinking about that, I thought about before IOC was, I was. And I've been a part of the process of IOC being birthed, and I was there through the process of conception and the bangs of the labor pains and pushing forth IOC. And I'm glad that God gave us the privilege to be a part of that. And so that's been about more than 12 years since IOC began. What brought us to IOC was really a calling from the Lord. And when Pastor Charles set out to start IOC, the Lord spoke to us, myself and my husband and family, that we were to go with him and be a part of what God was going to do. And so we answered the call and we joined him. And from the first prayer in his house, the journey began. It has been very instrumental in blessing and being a blessing to my family. And I just want to think about how it has also impacted our giving lives, because we've been taught the principles of applying the Word of God, being able to give of our talent, of our treasure, and of our time. And I just want to remember a testimony of what God just did recently in our lives. Summer of this year, I received news, actually earlier before summer, I received news that my sister and her kids and my aunt and my grandma had gotten involved in a cult. And they got so tied up in this cult that at the end of it, they actually moved out of their homes and moved into this cult and the leader of this cult. My sister was involved in a violent marriage. And so with that escalating, she moved out and found solace in this cult. And so that was devastating news when I really received that news. And I began to pray about it. And I called the IOC team and we prayed together. And as we prayed, God began to move. He challenged me during a conference and he said to put a seed concerning this matter that I was dealing with. So I obeyed God and planted a seed. And by midsummer, I got information that my aunt and my grandma had actually left that cult and gone back to the village. And then we prepared for the mission trip to Congo and Kenya. And by the time I was arriving in Kenya, I received a phone call from a joyful sister of mine telling me that she's back home with her kids and she was excited to get back home. And so I really want to thank God. It was a wonderful reunion, to thank God for IOC, for the place where you could call people to pray with you, to stand with you, to be an encouragement. And because of that, God was able to restore my family back together. And so I really thank God for IOC. I think it's been a blessing for my life, and I would encourage anyone that is even thinking about it, that this is the place to be, where you can get God to make a difference in your life, but also where God can use you to make a difference in somebody else's life.